Is this serious?
What's happening?
What?
There
How did
is.
this happen? I can't marry you. I don't know you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, sir. No, it's okay.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he should have been pounded out immediately. When I saw Kiki Palmer get proposed to by an absolute stranger at South by Southwest, it signaled a terrifying reality of this new era that we're stepping into. Celebrity worship and parasocialism have gotten so far to the point where it's no longer just these one-off quirky comments on the internet, maybe some fan engagement, airbrush t-shirt, those things that we've been brushing off for the past couple of years. But it's now getting to the point where celebrities are actually being placed into harm's way. Their boundaries and their privacies are getting invaded, and nobody seems to care. But I'm here to tell you that we can no longer brush off these small incidents, because these small things lead to these major incidents where people feel comfortable enough in order to walk.
There literally was a there literally was a situation where um what's it called? Comic Con. It was it Comic Con or Streamer Con, and one of the streamer girls, a guy like 6'7", 6'5" or whatever, walked up to her. I guess he was a fan, and he straight up just kissed. He kissed her. He went in for a kiss. They didn't have no prior relations, no prior. She didn't know. He didn't ask, and he get a kiss. Nothing. Just hands on her, tried to kiss her, and she freaked out, and he fled the scene. And it's crazy. Now Kiki Palmer, bro, she's a fine young black woman. I understand that people are beautiful on this earth, man. Like I get it, but to try to go and ask her to marry you is crazy. It's borderline insane when y'all never had prior conversation. Even if she replied to one of your comments on her Instagram post, it does not give you the right to embarrass her the way he just tried to. It's kind of crazy to me.
Up on these celebrities that they don't know and give a legitimate proposal to them and look at the crowd and say, no guys, she wants to say yes. Celebrity worship and parasocialism have gotten too damn far. It's no longer a catch-all, but more so of a diagnosis for something bigger and badder to come. This proposal wasn't just a spur of the moment thing. It was planned, and it was calculated stalker behavior. This guy bought a ring, bought a plane ticket to South by Southwest, took off from his job also. Most people don't think about that during this time in the economy. Bought a hotel room, bought access to the conference, and then had the balls to come up and propose to a woman that he does not know in real life and a woman that does not know him.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is.
This behavior is beyond parasocial. This man poses an actual threat to the safety and security of Kiki Palmer. And I know a lot of people brushed it off because it's Kiki Palmer and she doesn't have the internet's favor at the moment, but I think that there's a bigger conversation to be had here. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't a skit. This man was dead serious. And luckily she didn't get hurt, but who knows what could have happened in any other instance. Oftentimes we wait until these big and grandiose events happen for us to make commentary about it or intervene or react to it, but I'm telling you right now, it's the smaller things that happen that lead up to these events that have me questioning, why is nobody saying this? Oftentimes on the internet, we see weird reactions and interactions between fans and celebrities, and the only thing that people usually say is, oh, well, this person's weird, they're a glazer, etc., you know, they're Stan FC, blase blah, this, that, and the fourth and third. But the reality of these situations is that these are early warning signs, to me, in my opinion, of somebody who has a relationship that is greater than just one of a fan. This is one that is bordering somebody who has some sort of mental illness when it comes to their relationship or lack thereof relationship, a made up relationship with said celebrity. I've never understood the fans that cry at meet and greets because they're so overwhelmed, especially when we're talking about people who aren't real celebrities. No shade and disrespect to Krishan Rock, but there's no reason why a woman should be hyperventilating and about to pass out because they're meeting you. To me, the only reason why something like that would happen is no different than why these people would comment on her child to the extent that they do. It's because in their mind, they've built up some sort of relationship with said person and pedestalized them to a certain extent. And we don't talk about it because we brush it off as normal fandom, but to be honest with you, it's a little bit insane. I think another small example of parasocial activity that we
crying over meeting Christian Rock is kind of crazy. I would think a guy would do that. I can see some type of guy doing that, weirdo. But I definitely agree with Omizi saying, man, like it's getting to a point where it's way past ridiculous. It's way past ridiculous. It's on a whole nother stratosphere, a whole nother level. Like I struggle, and I'm not even, bro. Listen, I got 600 something subscribers. I just had a son, and I was telling my old lady this literally yesterday. I struggle with trying to do this social media stuff and wanting to keep everything else. Because I know as I get older, as I get bigger, as I grow, um, people got questions for things that I don't want to answer. And will people walk up to my children? Will people walk up to my girl? Will people walk up to my mom? These type of things are the things that I pray and hope that none of these things happen to my people, but I'm more concerned about my reaction. So the celebrity worship is getting so crazy. And me as a Christian, I will have to say this right now. Uh, we're not supposed to idolize anyone. No false idols. But I'll let him continue.
Brush off is this Gunna fan who paid seemingly $66 in order to run with him. Now, I know somebody's gonna say, Omar, he's just a weirdo. You should be overlooking this. This isn't a big deal. But to me, this symbolized the lengths that somebody would go to in order to get some sort of small interaction with Gunna. This guy seems fanned out, for lack of a better term, and to pay $66 to run with Gunna just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What it told me, though, is that this is somebody who is willing and able to do just about anything in order to get even this level of interaction with a celebrity. He paid $66 and ran miles with Gunna for a small glimpse of attention. And to me, this is just the tip of the iceberg as to how far people will go to get close to their favorite celebrities. This is the level before the escalation. And what happens after this is a total disrespect and lack of care for a person's boundaries, to the point where, honestly, the threats of violence can be justified because of how disrespectful some of these people are.
So we ain't just see that lady put hands on that mom? Is that a celebrity? We ain't just see that
To me,
lady
this is just the tip of
put
the
them paws
iceberg
on
as
that
to how
girl.
far people will go to get close to their favorite celebrities. This is the level before the escalation. And what happens after this is a total disrespect and lack of care for a person's boundaries, to the point where, honestly, the threats of violence can be justified because of how disrespectful some of these people are. While DaBaby was at a nightclub, a fan decided that he was going to present.
Is that his children? The baby's children? Like a situation like that, I don't know if I'm to be flattered or do what the baby did and just walk off. Because if I still off, that's a lawsuit. It's two ways it can go. I can be flattered. It's a little bit weird, or motherfucker, what's wrong with you? Like I'm about to body slam you. Yeah? You get what I'm saying? So
him with a gift, something that people do to celebrities and famous people all the time. But what he didn't take into consideration is that this gift that he was presenting him crossed so many boundaries, it's actually disgusting. The gift in question was a picture of DaBaby's children, hand-painted by said fan slash creator. And I went on this person's page and I realized this is the niche slash these are the things that he does on a normal basis. He paints people's family members, whether it be babies, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, deceased and alive. No commission, permission, just in an attempt to draw the eye of some sort of celebrity. Now, this is weird beyond belief. I shouldn't have to explain why. This guy looks up the baby's kids, downloads the pictures, again, not commissioned and totally a stranger, stares at it while he's painting for several hours, and then also locates the baby to present these things in a public setting because he knows that if the baby does do some sort of off-the-wall interaction with him, it'll make the baby seem more awkward as opposed to this guy. For what it's worth, I think the baby handled it very, very well. Jonathan is known to pound out dudes in this type of situation. But why did this guy, who is a painter, feel as though he had free range to do these types of things? I get that this is your style of content and you have to push the envelope just a little bit every once in a while. But at some point, you have to say, when you're searching up a picture of the baby's children, downloading it and blowing up said image and staring at it while painting it with no permission from either parent in this situation, you should probably say to yourself, you know what? I'm probably going a little bit too far. That's entitlement. That's delusion. And that's what parasocialism and celebrity worship is doing to people. What makes this situation worse is that the baby had to go and comment on this guy's page. He decided to leave this portrait and photos, which I thought was just so strange. He actually left photos of these two babies depicting like, hey, this is the inspiration photo, up on his page. And the baby had to justify not accepting the photo and give this man a message about keeping this stuff up on his page.
First and foremost, I'm not the type of father that I'm not into like grown ass men discussing my daughters, taking pictures of my daughters, taking pictures of my kids. I don't play like that. I'm not accepting no painting of my daughters outside of a nightclub.
At this point, you just don't give a damn about boundaries being set or honestly have any more.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I don't blame the baby, bro, because like you ain't even asked me if you can paint pictures of my family. I'm the celebrity. Paint a picture of me. I'm the one out in the public eye majority of the time. Paint a picture of me. And I'm not saying it because I'm jealous of my kids. I'm saying it because it's just weird behavior. Is it not? It's just weird behavior. You're looking up, as Omizi said, you're looking up celebrities and then their like their family members for what? That is a very weird niche, bro. That is very, 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 very weird. Very weird.
Morals or principles. If I did something to someone and could feel the vibe and see the internet's interaction with the content I was trying to make was negative and not well received, at no point in time am I keeping these things up or continuing down this path. That's the thing about this fandom and parasocialness that we're going through. It's not even about the creator. There's no respect, there's no privacy, there's no boundaries that are being respected in these situations. It's all about the fan and what they can do and get away with. And I think in any case of celebrity worship, you can see patterns being continued through all of them. Entitlement, lack of boundaries, lack of respect for these celebrities that you ogle over make you do these things that you want to do. I'm not saying you. I feel like I'm talking to somebody, but we know who I'm talking about. The same admiration that has you breaking down at a meet and greet when you meet Krishan Rock of all people is the same level of admiration and delusion that has a man kneeling down in front of Kiki Palmer trying to propose to her.
Bodyguard?
Is a stranger.
Bro, that bodyguard is not only tall, but he is big. That is a big, big man. I could put that man's shirt on and it'd be a dress, pretty much. That's a big man. Buddy might want to get up off his knees real quick. Cause as big as that man is, his shoes is probably a big, big size too. He might want to chill out, go back and sit down.
We've seen where this spectrum can go, but what makes Kiki Palmer's situation so much worse is what she said after the actual proposal in an interview.
I could see in his eyes that we've had romance. We had a lifetime in this man's eyes where he was like, seriously, like, it gave like, they finally came. And then that's when I knew when he started looking back to the people and he was like, she wants to say yes, help her say yes. But in the moment, it went from, this is a joke to, I've got to be careful with how I break the reality of this guy. This is nothing to play with. And that's why I got just started feeling sad because I was thinking to myself, man, this guy is in a really bad way, man.
Kiki Palmer did something that most people wouldn't do in this situation. I think is very telling. In this very awkward and honestly threatening position, she started to feel empathy and sympathy for the guy that was on one knee.
That's important. That's very important, but in the heat of battle sometimes, bro, no. Some people ain't gonna see it that way until later. But I commend her for what she's doing, man, for what she did do.
We saw the love and admiration and true genuine desire from this man to be with Kiki Palmer. But the crazy thing is, this is a person that has a detached sense of reality from what is really going on. My thing about all this is, what if she had been rude? Like, what if she had laughed? What if she had said something off the wall, kind of snapped on him? How does this man that is this delusional deals with that level of rejection? Now, granted, she will be justified in doing all of this, but we now have to consider these other people's feelings because they are so parasocial and caught up and lost, and it wasn't stopped earlier, that the threat of actual violence and harm is real. We also have to remember that this was done in a public setting. What happens if this person was caught outside, walking by themselves, taking a smoke break, I don't know, at a park or something like that? Not where there are cameras, multiple different people, security, etc., etc. This could have definitely ended bad if Kiki Palmer didn't say yes and play into this fan's delusion even more. Kiki handled the situation perfectly. She handled it with care and empathy and gentleness that honestly potentially saved her life. But ultimately, a stranger should have never gotten this close to her.
And
Therefore,
she
it was
shouldn't
a security
have
failure.
to
And this
do,
isn't the first time that we
you
have
know,
seen
be
parasocial
put in.
fans have the ability to
She shouldn't have to feel like, oh, I need to say any and everything to save my life. When she got asked to go to that interview or be at that company's place to do the interview or whatever the sit down talk they were doing,
get close with their creator or celebrity crush, idol, whatever the case may be, with security not doing their job. Kiki Palmer and DaBaby situation show me a clear pattern that these parasocial and celebrity worshiping fans use public situations in order to corner these celebrities into weird situations in which they have to act respectfully and play into their delusions. Security is usually reactive and not preventative or proactive in any of these situations, thus leaving these celebrities and content creators to harm's way. It's the same situation where this guy bought tickets, flew to the event, stood in line, and waited for his opportunity to bum rush
right
in.
here.
Strangers don't respect any sort of boundaries, and ultimately, these things could have been avoided if people had taken the smaller signs that these fans and stans and people who are parasocial showed on the internet on a day-to-day basis. And the sad part about it is the question has to arise, what happens if we don't start taking these things seriously? What happens if we don't take seriously the people that put the tattoos on their body or change their name or say that they're a part of this clique or this crew that follows this celebrity on a day-to-day basis? What happens if we don't take these people seriously? At the end of the day, celebrity worship needs to stop. And not because it's cringe like the Chris Brown pictures where somebody is kissing on Chris Brown's cheek and they're doing all these weird photos.
Well, 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 we finally made it to the day. The day when I give up all my dreams on Chris Brown.
But because these celebrities' lives and privacies are at risk, I stayed away from talking about the Rihanna and A$AP Rocky situation in this video because that is a truly disturbing situation that should not be handled very lightly. But I do think that that is a perfect situation that encapsulates what happens when we don't take the smaller signs, because she was doing these online diaries talking about how Rihanna was envious of her and jealous of her. When we don't take those types of videos and those pieces of content and those one-off moments seriously, it can become situations where now these celebrities are being put in harm's way. We need to bring back actual criticism. We need to bring back shame. We need to actually hold people accountable, and we need to call out and cast out anybody who is showing any sorts of early signs of celebrity worship before it gets too late.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. This what I say, man. I remember when the young boy Lil Durk beef was going on. I remember people choosing sides, fans choosing sides. It's one thing to like an artist because you like them. It's another thing to pick a side in a beef you have nothing to do with. Listen to the celebrity you prefer and let that be that. When they started becoming like, oh, if I see a Dirk fan, or if I see some OTF stuff on people, it's an issue. It's crazy. You got young boy fans showing up to the airport that NLE Chop is at, getting into physical altercation. Now, if that young man would have got stretched, now NLE Chop is wrong. But what is the problem with that that situation? You're a young boy fan. You're fanned out, and you're willing to go any lengths. You wasn't on the block with that boy in Baton Rouge. Y'all really want out there in Chicago, out there in Parkway Gardens with Lil Durk and them boys, King Von and Chief Keef. But y'all want on 300, 600 block? What loyalty do you owe them other than how about as fans we keep it real with these celebrities? How about we hold them accountable? Hey Dirk, you got a lot of money. Maybe you don't need to get a lot of people touched, bro. Just move out of Chicago and go through Hollywood and take care of your kids. Young boy, how about we get off the drugs for the sake of them kids? And I like both of their music. Oh, hurry up. If you're going past, go ahead. Okay, change your shirt then. It's for the kids, man. How about we hold them accountable? And again, I would say it. I love both of them artists. I love the talent they have. I love the fact that they make music uh uh for the soul. Even if some of it is trap and gangster based. You know what I mean? They speak some real stuff. But the whole point was to get out of those situations and still be able to talk. You can still talk about them, but not be in them. Celebrity worship is going crazy, bro. It's going crazy. Um, we just gotta do better. We gotta do better, bro. We gotta do better. Y'all let me know down in the comment section how y'all feel about the Kiki Palmer situation. This streamer, girl that got kissed, forcibly kissed, and the baby situation. Uh, and do you guys remember any other type of situation similar to these? Y'all let me know, man.